Hi, this is Lucas from Camden Bicycle Center, and today we're going to be going through this bike that was dropped off to us today. We just checked the work order on it, and they say the customer is describing this as what you may have also as a chain is skipping or it's slipping gears, as some will identify it as. So what we're going to do is that's what the work order said. So now we're going to do a kind of an initial visual inspection to see what is going on with it and see what we can see, and then also we're going to get a technical manual from the particular manufacturer that we have here, and today it is a Shimano drivetrain, and you can find those technical documents at the manufacturer's websites. Most of the time they have a technical section to where you can find specifics for particular drivetrains. And this particular drivetrain is a little bit different because it's set up on a touring bike. So we have a road setup in the front and a mountain setup in the rear. So we're working with the Shimano Dior XT derailleur in the back and a Sora front derailleur with 9-speed boring shifters made by Shimano. Shimano is the XT is the drivetrain by Shimano that we're using. This is a technical document that they have that is available online, and just find the corresponding language that you speak, and we can go from there. Right now we're going to go to a little bit more in-depth visual inspection of this bike, knowing the person who had this bike has a lot of miles on it, so we want to see what is happening with it. So we're just going to go through the gears at the moment. So, and we got a little bit of a shifting issue there. And one of the big things we'll see is up front here is that there's a lack of engagement for the chain onto the chain ring, and that's where generally most of our wears in this chain. You see it's very sloppy on there, and that is not inspectable with the manufacturer. So here we have found an engagement issue with the chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out our part tool chain length inspection, and this inspection, what we're looking for is anywhere from 0.5 to 0.75 millimeters of adjustment in 10 links. We're going to check it top and bottom, so we're going to see what this has. And this particular tool has a maximum of 1 millimeter. So we're going to check it, and that is already passed, and I have a lot of slop or play in this chain. And yeah, this particular chain's so far out of spec that it will not ride properly. You will have lots of riding issues with it. You'll be skipping, popping all the other. Okay, so upon further review of what we looked at this drivetrain, what needs to be done is we need to do a new chain. That's one of the simplest things, but what we got to remember is this is not a one-part problem. In this, we also have to change the rear gear cluster, because these two particular items wear together, and if we have this much play in the chain, we're going to have this much bad engagement in the rear gears also. So what we're going to do next is we're going to remove this chain, and two ways to do that. I have my power link remover if this chain has one. If not, I'm going to take my pin press and pop a pin out so it's a nice clean out there. So let's see what we got here. And we see that we have a power link here.
Let me see if I can get it. Okay.
So we're just going to come up and just going to break that link, and it just slides right apart. And that's the So with the chain out of the way now, we can go with a little bit further visual inspection, and what we see here is that there's a lot of wear on the inside, on the two inside rings of this front crank, and the outer ring looks very in spec. What you'll see is the points get very sharp to where it's hard for it to engage, and this is what a proper chain ring and spec would look like. We've removed the wheel off of our bike, and now we're just going to do a little bit closer inspection on what we know to be a worn out gear. So we start to see some very bad gapping in here to where this one looks a little more in spec, but the further we get down, the more.
Okay.
So not only the visual inspection of this, with the customer saying it was skipping and popping, we want to make sure there's nothing else broken on here that was causing that action to happen. And then also, while we have it, make sure there's good engagement on the free body. So we're about to remove this cassette. I have my cassette holder, and you may also use a chain whip for this. I prefer this one because it's a little more stability, and this is my cassette removal tool. So we're just going to make sure you get proper engagement, and just after you get a couple turns, top nut should just come right off, and then everything comes off real clean. Okay. So next we're inspect the free body. Since we have the gear off, we should look at it. Everything looks inspect and intact. I don't see any wear indicators on the holders. So next thing we're going to do is install our new 9-speed cassette. And then what you'll notice is on most of these are not, you can't just drop it on there and everything will happen nice. There are certain spots for everything on this. So I like to find the thinnest piece on here, and then they have two that are free right there and right there, and we will put our okay. Now the cassette is installed, we just want to make sure there's no obstruction in the, since we did put it back on, and everything is still tight, and we have this locked on properly. So next thing we'll do is put the wheel back on and then install the chain. So today we're going to use a SRAM 9-speed chain, just a nice chain that SRAM makes, and you cannot use a 6-speed, 7-speed, 8-speed. It must.
Power link.
Okay. So we have threaded the chain back properly through the front derailleur and the rear derailleur. So now we're just going to install the power link in here. Just one side goes on. And once it engages, it is set. So the next thing we're going to do is do another visual inspection after installing our new product to make sure that it remedied what was wrong initially. So let's bring this back up to the top line, and we can now see that this chain has proper engagement on this front chain ring, which should cure all these skipping and popping issues that it had. And also, with doing that, the rear cassette is now in spec with the chain. So and since everything is looking mechanically proper on the stand, we'll take this thing out.